Hey guys, what's going on and welcome back to our channel. Brendan Fraser, who stood 6 feet tall, has the ideal mix of intelligence, excellent features, and a pleasant demeanor. Unfortunately, Fraser suffered an unbelievable amount of trauma at the prime of his Hollywood career, forcing him to abandon his newfound famous position. Let's find out the real story behind Brendan Fraser's fall from fame. Number 6. George was the genuine king of the jungle. Fraser moved to New York to pursue acting after graduating from high school in 1990. However, after a brief visit to Los Angeles, he left the Big Apple to pursue a career in filmmaking in Hollywood. Fraser was cast in films almost immediately after arriving in Los Angeles. Fraser received his Screen Actors Guild membership and, quote, an extra $50 after being cast in his first film, Dogfight, starring River Phoenix. During the filming of Dogfight, Fraser recalled, "I think I bruised a rib, but I was like, that's okay, I'll take it. I can do it again. If you want, I'll break it. You want me to do it again?" The performer was enthusiastic about his work and eager to go above and beyond. He had no idea that this would set him up for some major physical ailments later in his career. Even though he wasn't yet making a lot of money, the movie roles kept flowing. Over the years, Fraser appeared in several different films before being offered his big break in George of the Jungle. George was the true jungle lord. As he dangled from vines as George, Fraser's body was jaw-dropping, and his lovely grin and disheveled hair had all the females swooning. Number 5. Fraser's mental and physical health suffered a major setback. Brendan Fraser's private life was likewise going swimmingly. He married actress Afton Smith in 1999 and they have 3 boys together. The next year, Fraser signed one of his largest film agreements and it was undoubtedly the peak of his career. This is where The Mummy was born and Fraser was the top guy in Hollywood. He co-starred in the film with the stunning Rachel Weisz and their connection was palpable on screen. The film was a huge hit, grossing over $416 million on an $80 million budget. It's no surprise, therefore, that the actor then agreed to return to the franchise and star in 2 more sequels. Fraser, on the other hand, appears to have been far too quick to say yes to projects rather than taking things slowly and enjoying the success that The Mummy brought. The actor's following 5 films, yes, 5, did not fare well as his first 5. It's safe to say that they did not fare well and it had a significant toll on Fraser's mental and physical health. Number 4. Fraser couldn't say no to a career in the film business. Fraser nearly literally fell to pieces as a result of his continual travel to film to promote these films on top of executing all of his stunts. He claims he was in and out of hospitals for 7 years in the early 2000s. "I was creating an exoskeleton for myself every day," he told GQ. "Screw cap ice packs and downhill mountain biking pads because they're small and light and they can fit under your clothes. I was building an exoskeleton for myself daily." The actor sustained numerous major injuries as a result of pushing himself too hard on the set, which necessitated surgery. He needed a partial knee replacement, back surgery, and the fastening of different compressed spinal pads together, to name a few. He even had to have his voice cords fixed at one point. It was as though Fraser couldn't say no to the movie industry. The more Hollywood demanded, the more Fraser would give. Sadly, however, it came to a point where the actor had practically nothing left to offer. "It felt as if I was pouring water out from an empty cup. Then all of a sudden, Fraser vanished from our television screens. From swiftly being a famous name in Hollywood to suddenly, nothing." Number 3. What happened that made the actor lose his star status? You can't help but wonder what occurred to push the actor away from his celebrity status. We had no way of knowing Fraser's narrative would turn out to be far more terrible than anyone could have anticipated. Fraser chose to sit down for a fully open interview with GQ magazine over a decade later when he finally recounted his story of what drove him away from Hollywood. Fraser was invited to a lunch hosted by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association at the Beverly Hills Hotel in 2003. The Golden Globes are hosted by the HFPA, which is made up of several international film reviewers. Fraser proceeded to shake hands with Philip Berg, the association's previous president, as he was departing the gathering. Berg then proceeded to sexually fondle Fraser's behind, shocking the actor and catching him completely off surprise, according to Fraser. Berg subsequently clarified that it was only a joke and that it should have been viewed as such. Fraser went on to say that what the previous president did was not amusing in the least. "I fell ill. I felt like a little kid. I felt like there was a ball in my throat. I thought I was going to cry. I felt like someone had thrown invisible paint on me." It should come as no surprise that the violation sent Fraser into a profound despair, and he blames this for his career's downfall. After the event, he requested an apology from Berg and the association, but they admitted no wrongdoing. Fraser feels that as a result of the event, he's been unable to return to the Golden Globes and has struggled to get major film parts ever since. "I was blaming myself and I was miserable because I was saying, this is nothing. This guy reached around and he copped a feel. And maybe I was overreacting. And maybe I'm overreacting in terms of what the instance was. I just know what my truth is." Number 2, it was not as simple as it looked. That wasn't the only thing the actor needed to get off his chest. Due to a dearth of film work, Fraser resorted to minor appearances in television series. Fraser was cast as a jail guard in the 3rd season of The Affair in 2016. His performance wowed the audience, and for a brief time, it appears as though the actor was making an official comeback. For the struggling performer, though, it wasn't as simple as it looked. His look, which appeared to be on the verge of tears during one of his online press interviews for The Affair, was transformed into a meme and went viral. The interview was tough to watch since the actor was emotional and very unhappy for the whole of it, speaking in an almost inaudible whisper. Audience opinions abound, with many speculating that Fraser's emotional outbursts were the result of his unsuccessful acting career or his 2009 divorce from his wife. The truth underlying his sobs could not have been more painful. Fraser told GQ that his mother had passed away from cancer just days before the interview. "I buried my mother. I think I was in mourning, and I didn't know what that meant." He hadn't done any publicity in a long time, and now he was in front of an audience promoting the third season of a program in which he played a minor role. The actor was overcome with grief after the death of the most significant lady in his life, and he couldn't hold it together for the interview. Number 1, Fraser has had a difficult decade. Fraser had certainly had a rough decade, and it appears that he had fought hard to keep himself and his family afloat. "I changed houses, I went through a divorce, some kids were born, they were born, but they're growing up. I was going through things that mold and shape you in ways that you're not ready for until you go through them." The actor has returned to our screens after opening up to GQ, appearing in The Professionals, The Secret of Karma, and even voicing a role in Doom Patrol. Fraser may have been able to let go of some of the anguish he had been hanging on to for so long by talking about his prior tragedy. The actor appears to be gradually regaining his footing, taking up work from his own time and taking care of himself in the process. The rise and fall of Hollywood performers are seldom predictable, and if Fraser's narrative tells us anything, it's that we never know what's going on behind the scenes. But let me know what you guys think about Brendan Fraser's life in the comments down below. Do you think he has a chance to rebound to the peak of Hollywood like he did with The Mummy? Or do you think that he's just passing time? Do write down your thoughts while also being professional, and I'll be catching you guys later in another video. Bye now!